Call, please.
Councilman Camburas?
Here.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Here.
Councilman Vargo?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Here.
Mayor Tinella?
Could everyone please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting was duly provided to the Verona Cedar Grove Times and Star Ledger by email and published in the annual schedule of meetings, December 28, 2017, filed with the Township Clerk, and posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building lobby in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Good evening, everybody. Our first order of business is extraordinary business, and it's a happy occasion when we get to swear in a new fire chief. We talk all the time during our meetings about the first responders in this town, between the fire departments and the ambulance and rescue squad, and what a fantastic job that they do. And it's always an honor to welcome a new fire chief, and if Dave Shallis would step up to the front, I'll do the honor of swearing him in.
Does he have the oath?
Repeat after me. I, Dave Shallis,
I, Dave Charles,
do sincerely profess and swear
do sincerely profess and swear
that I do and will bear true faith and allegiance,
that I do bear and swear
that I do and will bear
and will bear
true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the government established in this state
to the government established in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of
perform all the duties of
Fire Chief of the Cedar Grove Volunteer Fire Department,
Fire Chief of the Cedar Grove Volunteer Fire Department,
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
according to the best of my abilities and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, sorry.
Quick.
And would you like to say a few words?
I would.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mike is all yours.
Just want to thank everyone that is in attendance tonight, and especially my wife, who we woke up at a little before 4 o'clock this morning for the call. And just thank the township mayor, council, and most of all, Mr. Tucci, the township manager, who continues to support the Cedar Grove Fire Department each year and every year. So, thank you, and I hope we have a great year.
Thank you, Dave.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for your service. Thank everyone for your service.
I just want to introduce my first deputy chief, Jim Zaccaria. The newly appointed second deputy is Mike Grasso. My captain from Company 1, Mike Crenancy. The captain from North End, Anthony Freitas. The captain from South End is Zach Lynch. My captain from Company 1 is Kevin Palick. Behind him, just became a lieutenant at Company 2, is John Bannon. Behind him, lieutenant from Company 3 is Alex Bokamp. And my technical rescue lieutenant is Corey Keepers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service. Mr. Tucci?
I'd just like to say, I want to welcome you, Dave. I'm sure you're going to do a great job as a fire chief the next 2 years. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out John Bannon, who was the fire chief the past 2 years. Did an outstanding job, John, keeping the department together. And as always, the Cedar Grove Fire Department is the finest there is. I'm a little biased, but that's just the way it is. Congratulations, guys.
Deputy Mayor, may I say something?
Sure, yeah, Councilman Vargo?
I just want to say thank you to everybody here. Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
I know I've had some personal dealings with all of you, and you've all been fantastic. We know it's not easy getting up in the middle of the night or throughout the day and getting to those calls, but we appreciate how fast you get there and everything that you do. So thank you all very much for your service to our town. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And just going along with what Councilman Vargo says, you know, the fire department is very near and dear to my heart, of course, and Chief, I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to do a great job. We have every confidence in you, and I wanted to thank former Chief Bannon for a fabulous job that you've done the past couple of years. You guys are all so great, and I agree with Mr. Tucci, we absolutely have the best fire department in New Jersey. So thank you all so much.
And I want to thank you all, and you did an excellent job this year with Santa and your service. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We'll just wait a minute and then we'll continue on.
Yeah. Spare them.
Kate Hardwick. She's gonna get up. She's gonna get up. That's when we get her. She always gets up and gets you. She does. At that point, as soon as she's finished, say, I have something.
Okay.
That's when we normally do. And you don't have to introduce anything special. You have to understand that.
Definitely cleared.
Consider it.
Amazing.
Okay, we ready?
Poor Mr. Russomato. Thank God we have
Let's
him.
move on the agenda. Item 3 is approval of minutes.
Need a motion. Motion for
Oh, can I have a motion to consider the approval of minutes of the regular public meeting for December 4th, 2017?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item number 4 on the agenda is public hearing. I'd like to open the meeting for a public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant. Mr. Tucci?
Deputy Mayor, if I could just give an overview. Community Development Block Grant is a consortium of approximately 17 towns in Essex County. It's been in inception probably since the early 80s. Cedar Grove has been one of the initial members. As part of the application process for community development, first of all, the Community Development Block Grant Fund is funding from the federal government that's funneled through the counties and distributed to municipalities. As part of that process, Cedar Grove submits an application every year. As part of the application process, you're required to have 2 public hearings and solicit any comments or suggestions from the public on any project that they would like to see beside the ones that the township puts forth. This year, the township is proposing to put all ADA-approved playground equipment in the upper community park area. That's what we're slated to do, and we would like to entertain any member of the public at this point who have any suggestions or would like to bring anything to our attention that maybe we're overlooking. Mayor, if you want to open it up to the public at this point?
Yeah, at this time, we'll open the meeting up to the public for any comments on the public hearing regarding the Community Development Block Grant. Seeing none, close that portion of the meeting. On the agenda, item 5, the meeting is now open to residents of the township wishing to be heard on any items that are on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move on to item 6, which are the reports of the township officials. Mr. Tucci?
Mayor,
Good
this
evening.
evening, good evening. I'll be rather short. I just want to commend the Department of Public Works for the fine job that they've done over these past couple of weeks with the snow removal and the inclement weather. The way the men and women have dealt with these issues, our police department, our ambulance and rescue squad, our fire department, these people are out day and night in the cold, and it's been very cold. We had sub-zero temperatures. Also, the number of water main breaks has increased during this period of time, and these guys, men and women, are out there doing it. I just want to point out to the public that I want to thank the public for their cooperation also, but these men and women are out there. I mean, they're being paid, but still, it's tough work when you see people out there in zero weather in a ditch with cold water on their feet. But I just wanted to point that out and make the public aware. A lot of times those things are behind the scenes and we don't see what's going on. Also, our garbage company, they got out there prior to the storms and got most of the garbage up before. I went through other communities, the garbage is all piled up in the snow mounds. We don't have that issue here. But I just want to thank all those people for their service to our community. That's what makes Cedar Grove the place it is to live. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. Ms. Stutz?
No report.
Thank you, Ms. Stutz. Tonight we have with us Marlon Towns, our township attorney.
Yes,
Do
good
you
evening,
have any
Council.
report for us tonight?
The only item is in your package. There's a memorandum from our office concerning the addition of student representatives to township committees. Therein, we kind of laid out some proposed language to change the municipal code, sometimes adding one representative, sometimes two, just to ensure that there was an odd number of people on each committee for voting purposes. And that's it
Great.
for this evening.
I just have a question about that. I read that, and I saw that there wasn't an appointment to the Health Advisory Committee. Was there
Okay.
that list that was provided to us, are those all the student liaisons? Because I thought we were going to have one to the Health Advisory.
There should have been one to each committee.
I didn't see Health Advisory.
Okay. I mean, we could
So just
definitely
so you-
revisit that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was included. So, thank you. That's.
Thank you very much, Mr. Towns. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Any council reports tonight? Councilman Caboris?
Yes, just one thing. With the severe weather, I please do not feed the wildlife. Their system, especially the deer, are accustomed to the browse that's out there, and should you feed them our food or any corn like that, it will affect them, and it wouldn't be good for the deer. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Vargo?
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have 3 items tonight to report on. The first one I wanted to talk about is, at the last staff meeting, you may recall that I requested the town council that we put up a memorial for Lieutenant Bill Fearon, who passed away over a year ago, for his extraordinary service to our community, and not only as a friend, a neighbor, but just all around great guy. I spoke with Janice Fearon as well, and I also spoke with Mr. Tucci about locations. Mr. Tucci, the question that we have, so when I spoke with Janice and her family, they like the idea of Panther Park. That means a lot to them down
I
there.
know Bill was very involved with
Yeah.
our rec programs.
Yeah, Bill was very involved with the rec programs. Their family still uses the Panther Park, so they really like the idea of the Panther Park. So the question that I have for you is, what is the process going forward now? We want to make sure, I would like to make sure that Janice and the family are incorporated every step of the way in terms of the design, location, and that kind of stuff, but I don't know the process. Is there,
Well,
how would it work?
first, I think we need to come up with what exactly we're looking to do. Whether we're looking to put a bronze plaque somewhere with a bust of Bill that would, be there for posterity. I mean, you can go on the building, you can go, we have these huge rocks that we normally, what we do is we flat face the rock, and we know the plaque's on the rock. similar to what we have here right in the front of Town Hall,
Mm-hmm.
and those things last an eternity. I believe this one out here is probably about 75 years old, the plaque that's out there
Okay,
right now.
Okay.
But, those are just a couple of the ideas that we had discussed briefly, Councilman, and, we'd be very happy, depending on what the council's pleasure is, in either direction, either on the concession building, which there is a plaque up there, right, to Scott Richardson currently, but if you want to put it on the opposite face of the building, that would be possible, or something down lower behind the playground area, or up in the front in the parking lot area. We can go out there, take a look around. I'd be happy to walk it with Janice.
Okay.
And yourself and any other council person who'd like to take a look at it, and, we can work through the details. But, if we want to go with the plaque, with the bronze bust, which will actually be a bust of Bill,
okay,
or actually on the plaque.
right, and you're mentioning that that's a 3D type of
It's a
bust.
3D type of.
That's great,
if you-
yeah.
If you look
That's
at it.
great.
We have one there for Scott Richardson, like I indicated, and in my other hats that I wear, we have dedicated these kind of plaques to other individuals. They're very nicely done.
Okay.
In good taste, and I think anybody would be proud to see this.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I would, so I'll speak with Janice and her family and talk about some of the locations down at Panther Park.
Right.
Some of the options, see if there's any specific area that has more meaning to them. And then I suppose we can talk about the options that you just mentioned of what type of memorial.
And the only thing I would suggest is, we'd want to put it in a location where you get a lot of flow of traffic.
Absolutely.
As many people as possible would see it.
Absolutely.
That would be the only thing I would put forth.
Okay. And then, would I be able to reach out to you for
Yes,
some
absolutely.
examples or something like that? So, and then I suppose we'd set up a meeting with, the artist or whoever puts the bust together. I don't know how it's done, but,
What we do is we get actually a photograph from Janice or the family.
okay,
And then what we do is we send it out for a mock-up, and they actually do a mock-up and then send it back to us so that we can see it to make sure we like it, and then we give a final go-ahead on that.
okay, fantastic.
So there's a little bit of a process, but it's just to make sure that everything gets done the way, in the taste that
Absolutely,
the governing body would like.
absolutely. Okay, perfect, thank you. The next item, Mr. Tucci, I just want to talk about the shuttle service and the survey. I know you were reaching out to,
I have additional information
Okay.
for the governing body I received from the Township of Verona.
Okay.
I believe their township attorney had done legwork, and the township manager there was nice enough to share it with me. I will put it in the packet for the next staff meeting.
Fantastic.
That's-
okay? Thank you. And then the last comment that I have is, I've received some concerns about the garbage pickup recently, and some concerns that garbage is either being left or not picked up or sifted through, and I just want to know what is the process. It might be helpful to understand what the process is, if you know at this point in time, for the garbage collection.
Well, to be quite honest with you, we were having that difficulty. I did speak to the garbage hauler, who happens to be a township resident here in Cedar Grove, and there have been changes made over the past week or so
Okay?
with the personnel. So I think you're going to see a little bit different type of collection, and I don't anticipate we're going to have that problem, but if we do, there'll be more changes made.
Okay, thank you. That's actually good information. Appreciate it. That's all I have,
Thank
Deputy
you,
Mayor.
Councilman. Councilwoman Peterson,
Good evening, Deputy Mayor.
good evening.
I don't have any committee reports. I just wanted to kind of start the conversation with the council regarding the legalization of marijuana. I know that this is going to be happening soon in New Jersey, and I've been reading a lot about what other municipalities they're taking their stance on it. If we want to, maybe try to take the pulse of the community, see how everyone feels. Hopefully, maybe we can get more people to council meetings. I believe it was in Point Pleasant Beach. They banned marijuana sales, both medicinal and recreational. In Linden, they actually formed a special group to research and study the risk versus the benefit of selling of marijuana. I thought perhaps this is something that I could take to the Health Advisory and to the Municipal Alliance and maybe task them with doing the research on this. I know a lot of this is people, how you feel personally, but I think that we also have to think about the community as a whole, and like I said, the benefits versus the risks. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there. Maybe, you guys could give it some thought, and we can discuss it at the next council meeting again, or I'm not sure how to proceed, but I really think it's really important. It's coming right down the pipe, and I want us to be prepared and ready to, kind of face this new, legalization, so.
The only question I have would be, and I think it's a great idea, but would we know what the township would lose if they did, Mr. Tucci, if we did ban the?
To be honest with you, that's a bit cryptic, the dialogue that they have out there, that if you don't participate, that you're not going to participate in the revenue generated. We don't know whether that's revenue generated across the state that's going to be shared, revenue generated just in your community that is going to come back to you, and we don't know what the breakout's going to be, how much you're going to be. So again, everything is very cryptic, and there's no detail in what they're putting out there right now. So it's really an uncertain endeavor.
And
again, there are a lot of ancillary issues attached to legalizing, because there are going to be ancillary costs associated with it, because it's going to bring other issues into the community when you legalize this, and nobody's talking about those other issues.
Right. If you read, I just encourage you to go online and just read about other municipalities, read about Colorado, what's happened out there since they legalized it. I've read a lot about it, and personally, I could put my stance out there right now. I absolutely do not want it. I'd be happy to pass an ordinance to not allow the sale. I don't think that the benefit, like Mr. Tucci said, it's very cryptic. We really don't know what we're going to get. We are lucky enough to live in a town that is financially stable because of Mr. Tucci and the way it's run. So, extra money is great, but at what cost? And really, where is it going to? So that's how I know where I stand, but I just wanted to start the conversation, and again, it could be personal, but the risk versus the benefits. Read about Colorado. The first year that it was legal, they had 59 deaths because of the edibles. They didn't regulate the amount of marijuana in the edibles, so everybody digests it at different rates. People are dying. There's nothing we can do about it, but I don't want it sold here if we can help it. So.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea, and I'm not saying that I'm against that. I'm just saying that I think before we waive anything, we should know what it is we're waiving.
That's why I wanted to start
just so we have the knowledge of what it
Yeah.
is, that's all.
Mayor, just a suggestion. Might ask the clerk if she could call the League of Municipalities and see if they could send us any information that they may have regarding the issue, because they may have done some legwork already that we may be able to, dive
Yeah.
into and reap the benefit of.
That'd be great. Do you think that we can do that, Mrs. Stutz?
I can.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, a question. Maybe we can get the ordinance from Point Pleasant and look at that, see how the language is on that?
That's a good idea.
It's fine.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, and for tonight, I do not have a report, so we will move on the agenda to item 7, consent agenda. 7A, to consider resolution concerning reappointment of planning board members.
Mayor, these items on the consent agenda can all be taken at once, I believe with the exclusion of item number F, since we do not have enough members present to approve that resolution, but you can take items A through E and G all at once.
Okay, thank you. So we will table item 7F for next meeting, and now I will put up for a motion item 7A, to consider resolution concerning reappointment of planning board members. Item 7B, to consider resolution concerning reappointment/appointment of advisory health council members. 7C, to consider resolution concerning reappointment of downtown advisory committee members. 7D, to consider resolution concerning reappointment/appointment appointment of environmental commission members. 7E, to consider resolution concerning reappointment of municipal alliance committee members. And 7G, the approval of raffle application for Lanning Avenue School and Community Association. May I have a motion for those items, please?
So moved, motion?
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Deputy Mayor, I will have to abstain from item 7C for the record.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes, abstaining from 7C.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item 8 on the agenda, new business. May I have a motion for item 8A, which is to consider resolution concerning 2018 cash management plan.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, just a little overview. The cash management plan is basically a guide on how the township will reinvest our dollars during the course of the year, what banks we put it in, and what instruments we're going to use. So what happens is every year, we authorize a cash management plan, and basically it's just a guide on how our finance director will reinvest our dollars and what banks will hold those funds.
Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item 8B, to consider resolution concerning interest for delinquent tax payment. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion?
Yes, again, this is just, every year the township is required to indicate what the interest rate will be on delinquent taxes. So we do a resolution every year indicating so that the general public knows that if they don't pay their taxes, this will be the interest rate that will be charged.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item 8C, to consider resolution concerning tax sale certificate redemption fee. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, again, just a brief description. What happens every year, we sell, tax sale, we sell certificates, and then what happens, individuals buy them at a certain interest rate, and then when the individuals want to redeem them, there's a certain fee that has to be charged. That has to be done by resolution, and that's why you see that resolution on this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item 8D, to consider resolution concerning petty cash funds. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Tucci,
Yeah,
any-
just a brief description. It's pretty self-explanatory, but some of the departments have a need to have a few dollars in cash. I think it's up to maximum like $200. Public Works, sometimes there are small items where it doesn't pay to do a voucher, so they take it out of petty cash and then they put a voucher through. Just the League of Municipalities did the study. Each voucher that's done costs the municipality, it's estimated $85, based on the amount of people that touch it, look at it, examine it. So we try to limit the amount that we do so that we don't incur that cost. Even though it's an indirect cost, it's still a cost ultimately.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. May I have an item, motion for item 8E, which is to consider resolution concerning 2018 temporary budget.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tucci, any
Yes.
description of this one?
Temporary budget is a budget that's put in place in the interim period while the council does its initial introduction of a budget and then ultimately the adoption. Initially, it starts out at 26.25%. In the event that the township uses that 25.26% before the budget is adopted, the township has the option to, again, appropriate another 26.25%. and you could do that X amount of times up until the ultimate, but normally no more than once or twice is the norm that you'll see here. So this will start us out in the year just to get us through so that we could pay our bills, pay our employees, so on and so forth.
So, Mr. Tucci, so if I went through this line item sheet that we have in our packet here, if there's something that I see that we might want to consider adding, we can do that at the budgeting process,
When you-
such as the Downtown Advisory Committee?
Yeah,
as an
that's
example?
done at the budget process.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to make sure.
This is just a temporary nuts and bolts.
Okay.
Just to get us through.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. May I have a motion for item 8F, which is to consider resolution concerning the 2018 CDBG application submission. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tucci, is there
Yeah,
any discussion?
This is the same explanation I gave earlier at the public hearing. This is an application, a resolution authorizing the application for an ADA accessible playground at the Upper Community Park. Again, we normally get in the vicinity of $65,000. The remaining funds we bond ourselves or whatever it is.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. We have an add-on, item 8G, which is a resolution to consider the resolution authorizing the execution of the redevelopment agreement. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tucci?
Again, this is just, the council had discussed the redevelopment ordinance at the last meeting. This is just authorizing me to sign the documents on behalf of the township.
May I have roll call, please?
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. Item 9, approval of bills.
Be it resolved that the summary of bills have been duly audited and found correct and are ordered paid in the amount of $541,748.39.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Camburis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Peterson?
Yes.
Councilman Vargo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sakala?
Yes. The meeting is now open to residents of the township wishing to be heard on any item on or off the agenda concerning township business. Good evening, Ms. Hartwick.
Good evening, how are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just have one announcement for the township. The County of Essex will be undertaking its deer management program. Part of that program does take place in Hilltop Reservation, which borders Fairview Avenue and is in the township of Cedar Grove. Those dates begin in February. There will be a mailing going out to all residents, and I will have copies dropped off here at the town hall as well. But those dates begin on February 6th and are Tuesdays and Thursdays with 2 makeup days, so it runs through March 1st. As in past years, there will be message boards going up on Fairview Avenue to alert residents to the dates as they come up.
Thank you.
I have a question. Do you think it would be possible to look into the possibility of kids being able to ride their bikes at the Hilltop, just even if it was partitioned off to the lower, so the part of the path that's by the community center? It seems, I'm on there quite often, and the lower part is it's usually vacant. People go to the other side of Fairview, opposite the community center. There's just nowhere for kids to ride their bikes, and we're building more, and there's so much traffic, you can't just let kids go out and ride their bikes anymore. So I just thought, even if you did like a Saturday from 10 to 12, not even necessarily all the time, but just, if we get the ball rolling now, maybe by spring, if it ever comes, we could, just let kids, give them the opportunity to just go out and be kids and ride their bikes.
I can take that back to the administration. There is currently an ordinance in place through the county for the Parks Department that prohibits bike riding on pathways and limits it to the roadways that run through the park system. But let me take your thoughts back and see if I can get an update.
Okay, that would be great, thank you.
Ms. Hart, okay, go ahead,
I'm
Councilman.
sorry. Any update on the wellhead removal
No, I spoke with the Department of Public Works last month about it. They did say it was going to be something of a time-consuming process, because there's multiple steps involved. And as Mr. Tucci mentioned, weather has definitely been a determining factor for them the last couple of weeks, but I will follow up with them again.
Thank you.
And Ms. Hartwick, one last question. The crosswalk on Bradford by Panther Park,
Yes.
that could potentially be directed to you and to Mr. Tucci as well. What is the
The
status?
county engineer is reviewing it. Our engineer had to make a recommendation on, so there's a process right now.
Okay.
And then once Alex submits it, the county engineer will review it and either approve it or deny it.
Okay, so we just have to submit it to the county still?
Yes.
Okay. Do we know about how long that process is? And I ask because you'll have spring sports starting where kids will be going back and forth.
Well, the only issue is we have to have the police department do some traffic counts, so they got to put the road monitor out there and get numbers. That's what we're waiting for.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
May I ask her just one more question? I'm sorry, I forgot. There was some interest about a dog enclosure, like a small dog park up at our hilltop. I know that Colwell just is going to receive one from the county on the backside of the conservatory property up there. Is there anything that we can do about our side down in the lower section down there? If you could mention it to somebody on that?
I can take that recommendation back. Yes, as you mentioned, there is a dog park in design currently for the Hilltop Reservation on the North Colwell side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other residents wishing to be heard for items either on or off the agenda?